Hey everybody, this is George from DinosaurGeorge.com answering all of the questions from around the world. Some of you probably noticed this is the first time I've ever made a video where I'm not wearing my vest. The reason for that is I've got a darn irritation on my skin. It's something called shingles, and I can't wear tight-fitting clothes, so I have to wear this loose-fitting thing. So anyway, that's why I'm out of uniform. So for my sponsor who sends me the vest, please don't get mad at me. I just can't wear the thing because it hurts like crazy. All right, we'll start off with Dabbiel from San Juan, Puerto Rico. He says, hi again, Dinosaur George. Hey again, Dabbiel. First of all, thank you for answering my previous questions. Dabbiel, glad to do it for you. More importantly, I'm excited for you that yours was one of the ones chosen. I know that Nanotyrannus may have been a separate species from Tyrannosaurus rex and other tyrannosaurids. However, I've heard theories that Jane, that's the name of the dinosaur that some people feel is a Nanotyrannus and some think it's a juvenile rex. I've heard theories that Jane is probably a young specimen. My questions are, do you think Jane is a young Nanotyrannosaurus? And so, could this Tyrannosaurid be larger than estimated? Sorry for the inconvenience, man, and good luck with DGTV. Okay, first of all, Dabbiel, don't apologize. It's not an inconvenience to answer these questions. I am thrilled to death to get them. So never apologize for that. I appreciate it, but don't ever do that. Second of all, for DGTV, it's coming along. The problem is I've been sick for this last week, and I can't get out and finish filming. DGTV is basically going to be the kind of television show I would like to make, but I can't make because the networks, they've got their own versions of what television should be. So it's a show that I'll put together and put on my website, and part of it will be posted on YouTube. So that's what Dabbiel is talking about. Okay, back to Jane. Yeah, from what I've heard, Jane represents a young specimen, and that's why some paleontologists believe that that dinosaur represents a juvenile Tyrannosaurus rex. Now, I've looked at the skeletal remains of Tinker, which is absolutely a true juvenile Tyrannosaurus rex, and it is so distinctively different from Jane that I have no doubts whatsoever in my mind that Nanotyrannus is its own species. And so because Jane's skeleton shows signs that it is still a young specimen, then yes, I believe Nanotyrannus may have grown larger than the specimen that Jane represents. How big Nanotyrannus gets, we don't know. Maybe Nanotyrannus reached Tyrannosaurus rex size, but it just may have been a much sleeker, more slender dinosaur. Okay, Dallas from Lewisville, Texas. Dear Dinosaur George, I was looking up new dinosaur species on the internet one day, and I came across a few newly discovered species named Aleoramus and Frutidens. Can you explain them a little better to me? Okay, first of all, Aleoramus. I'm familiar with Aleoramus. Aleoramus is from Mongolia. I want to say Mongolia. Not much is known about it because there wasn't a lot found other than a couple of really good skulls. Aleoramus is a strange looking dinosaur because it's got this series of weird kind of bumps down its nose. It's a weird looking dude. Some people think that that might represent a juvenile Tarbosaurus. Who knows? But there's not enough of that skeleton found to really know. Now that's been around for a while, so it's not necessarily new. It's just a very poorly known dinosaur. As for the other dinosaur, Frutidens, I'll tell you the truth, I've never heard of it, Dallas. I've never heard of that dinosaur. I apologize. I'll try to look it up and see what it is. Based on its name, I'm guessing that it's something that came out of Frucia, Colorado, maybe where it's found. I'm guessing just by looking at the name. Okay, Dustin from Atlanta, Georgia says, hey DG, I have two questions for you. If T-Rex had survived extinction and was discovered, do you think it would have evolved into a bigger or smaller predator? My other question is, exactly how long and tall was Tanystropheus? Okay, let's get to Tanystropheus first. Tanystropheus is the weirdest looking reptile you'll ever see in your life. He's very weird. He's got an immensely long neck. But to tell you the truth, Dustin, I don't know how big that guy really gets. I saw once where somebody said it was 12 feet and almost 8 feet of that was neck. I've seen estimates that it was much bigger than that. If any of you know, please go to YouTube and tell me what it is. I enjoy immensely, by the way, seeing you folks respond on YouTube with your opinions and points of view. I respect them dramatically, and I really appreciate them because you guys are doing a lot of work, research for me that I just don't have time to do. So if any of you know how big Tanystropheus is, please post it on YouTube and let us all see. As for whether T-Rex would have been a giant or not, that would have been dependent on the environment. My guess would be that once you reach gigantic proportions, it starts to become detrimental because your sheer size requires an amazing amount of food and water to generate your massive body. So I think Tyrannosaurus rex, had it survived past the KT, would have begun a downward sizing. I think it would have downsized a little bit. I think it would have become more slender and more sleek. Sort of like, look at old cars and now look at cars today. We make them lighter, faster, sleeker because they don't require as much fuel. Same thing would have happened with dinosaurs. Look at elephants. There's a perfect example. Look at the earlier elephants. Those things were gigantic in comparison to modern elephants. So modern elephants represent a downsizing, and I believe Tyrannosaurus rex would have done the same thing simply because the environment may not have been able to support their gigantic size. Okay, my buddy Osama from Memphis, Tennessee. Hey, Dinosaur George, it's me again. Hey, Osama, always good to hear from you, buddy. I was the guy in video number 59 asking about the Velociraptor distress calls. Well, first of all, Osama, I'm so glad I had a chance to answer your question, and I appreciate you asking it. I understand your favorite dinosaur is Allosaurus, but if you were to choose which type of raptor was most successful, who would it be? P.S. Raptors are my favorite dinosaurs. Osama, I got to tell you something. Everybody wants to know what my #1 favorite dinosaur is, and it is Allosaurus. But if you ask me who my #2 favorite dinosaur is, it's Deinonychus. And I think Deinonychus is a pretty amazing raptor. But if you want to know who's the most successful, well, I would have to say it's probably Velociraptor or some of his immediate brothers, family members. Because we find them up into the end of the Cretaceous. We find them in Mongolia. We find evidence of incredibly similar dinosaurs here in North America. We find them in Russia, and that to me suggests success simply because they're distributed over such a wide area. Finally, Brandon from Fox Island, Washington. Dear DG, is Carcharodontosaurus bigger than Tyrannosaurus? Many people say it was, but I read in a book that it says that this wasn't true. I'm sorry, many people say that it's not true, but I read in a book where it says it is true. Okay, Brandon, here's the deal. The problem with Carcharodontosaurus is there's never been a good skeleton discovered. There's been an amazingly good skull found, and from that, paleontologists are able to guesstimate its size. Well, when you guesstimate something, unfortunately, you don't have any way to prove or disprove the size. So that's why you see the argument of how big it really got. I've seen the estimates being around 40 feet. And that to me seems to be what a lot of the people I know in the industry say it is. So if it is indeed 40 feet, then it did not grow as large as Tyrannosaurus rex. But until we find a good skeleton, there's just no way of knowing. All right, you guys, listen, thank you so much for taking the time to write to me. I apologize for those that write so often, but I just can't answer your questions. If you've got a question, go to my website, dinosaurgeorge.com. Click on the Ask Dinosaur George page, fill out the form and submit it, and we will do our best to answer it. But like I tell everybody, we get thousands of these. You know, yesterday, I got 160 questions yesterday, just yesterday. And so we just can't even read them all. Sometimes we just go down and delete them without even reading them. I know that sounds terrible, guys, but that's just the fact. All right, take care of yourselves, everybody. Take care of the people around you that need your help. For you young people out there, there's not many more important things in life than having good reading skills and having good manners. And I hope you have the best of both of those. Until next time, everybody, take care, and I'll see you soon.